Entertainment purposes only. Want to hear some crazy UFO shit?
Eisenhower signing treaties was not Eisenhower. That power was divested into the hands of MJ-12. That in 1952, an unconditional surrender agreement took place, which really took the power away from the president. There was like 20 levels of top secret information that was not accessed by the president.
For those of you who have no idea what's going on, that is Eisenhower's great-granddaughter, and she spent her entire life so far digging up her family's truth.
But through the help of Althor, he was able to understand what really took place. So Admiral Byrd tried to invade the Nazi underground base in Antarctica, and the Nazi occupation there, that did not go well.
Leads us to Project High Jump. Project High Jump was commanded by Richard E. Byrd, whose goal was to fly over Antarctica, map and chart out the specific area, meanwhile testing specific equipment for the military. But it got interesting. Byrd apparently kept a journal on his adventures over Antarctica. Byrd had claimed that while he was flying over Antarctica, a UFO-shaped craft flew up next to him and took over complete control of his airplane. He said there may have been a Nazi symbol on the side.
Theorists say that the story is that in 1936, a UFO ended up crashing in the Black Woods and ended up putting the Nazis, give or take, about 100 years ahead of technology. This could have very well been part of like the Die Glocken, and where they started doing some testing on specific twins or people who were psychic. There was a lot of strange stuff. Now, after World War II, the Nazis ended up leaving Germany and heading down specifically to Argentina. This was interesting times because the technology, like the Die Glocken or some of the other stuff that the Nazis were playing with, kind of seemingly disappeared. And theory is that they might have moved some of it to Antarctica. Again, theory, because Google papers aren't stating this, so please go do your own research on that. But interestingly enough, it seems to break down into two parts where the United States was pissed because we were falling behind, so we ended up starting Project Paperclip, and then we also ended up starting Project High Jump. And the dates legit line up.
Of this craft guided him down into a hole in the ice where apparently he met with something or someone known as the Master. The Master was very unhappy with the power that humankind had just recently stumbled into and told him that we needed to go back and tell all of the people not to use it.
Do you know what happened in World War II? Yeah, the atomic bomb. A little more information that needs to get disclosed. In the early 50s, we had some of our brightest minds get together underneath the Pentagon in the MWCC, I believe it's called, who got together and had to make a choice of three things. Number one, do we go into nuclear war? Do we surrender? Or do we find something in between?
And then in 1952, that's when the UFOs flew over the Capitol. This was when there was an unconditional surrender agreement. That was actually what they are claiming to be the Greada Treaty. And all of the members of Congress were a part of this unconditional surrender.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, but it gets deeper than that.
Why did I talk about that forever? Well, because it all correlates back to the 1946 Atomic Energy Act that was also stated by Carl Nell. Who exactly is Carl Nell? Well, he is actually one of the colonels who first came out and stated, "We are not alone in the universe with 100% certainty."
Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing.
I'm wondering, and I'm curious, how confident are you that that is true?
There's zero doubt.
The next clip is actually Carl Nell specifically talking at the Seoul Conference in 2023 about the Atomic Energy Act and how it's currently blocking Congress from getting all of their information to the public.
So there's some subset of records that the Congress has found evade this mandatory declassification review, and they're stating that that's due to the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. So you can imagine, some of the sort of historical background that might have precipitated that post-World War II, Manhattan Project, sightings going on at that time, and using that same security apparatus for this topic. So that's a very significant finding that Congress is putting out there for folks that are paying attention.
I dare you to go do some research and prove me wrong. That's a dare. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I did this for you.